What's up, Blue Bayou Nation? I'm here today to give you a review on the Nike Wildhorse 5. This is an updated review. I felt like I needed to do one due to the fact that I have ran more in it, and I feel like it simply just needs some new fresh content on this shoe. So I will begin by saying, again, if you don't know me, I'm not a pro runner, I'm not an elite runner. I don't run like 5-minute miles, that type of thing. My half marathon is in that 1:35 range. Run a ton of OCR races, and this year I have dipped in to the ultra side. Done the Georgia Death Race, done the World's Toughest Mudder, and I just completed a Salt Flats Endurance 100, the Salt Flats 100 mile race. So that's just a quick little deal about me as far as my experience in the running world. So let's get right to it. The toe box. Nike finally, in my opinion, created a shoe with a wider toe box. I'm a Nike guy. For some reason, I want that logo rocking when I'm running. So the toe box is much wider than your typical Nike like Forerunner type of shoe. The drop, Nike as well, in my opinion, finally again created a shoe that has a bigger drop. I wanted something anywhere from 4 to 8, and they did that. I believe this is an 8mm drop with this shoe, so I feel like 10 is too much, and I don't want the minimalist like ultra running shoe that's at 0. I've ran 50K in February with an ultra shoe, no lug on it, and I did fine, kind of wet conditions, and I ran fine. I actually ran really well that day. 5 hours and some change for that 50K down near the Houston area. So, but the drop, so it's about an 8mm drop, which I like. The toe box is wider. The lug is pretty good. I mean, it's not like a crazy OCR type of thick, deep lug, but it still grips the trails pretty well, especially if they're dry. But I ran my first training run in some a little bit more wet conditions, and it held up fine. Granted, it was a groomed trail. It wasn't like an OCR muddy trail where you're trying to have to and I wasn't going up crazy incline mountain. But the lug, it goes all the way around as well, which I like, and then it's got the Nike, the Zoom cushioning with it. The fitting, I feel like it fits true to size. I went with an 11.5, and I feel like that was the perfect size for me. I didn't have to really, I didn't have to like size up like some shoes. So I think the fitting is true with this, and the blue lining here I really like. It's really thin, but it's like it's coated enough over this meshy stuff where you're not gonna get that rocky little tiny pebbles and sand and stuff like that. So I really like that they kind of added that all around the toe there, and then even back into this part of the shoe as well. I've only ran in this shoe twice. My 2 runs was a 5.5 mile trail training run, and then I wore it kind of like an everyday shoe just to continue to break it in, because my second run was, if you watch this first video, I was wanting this to be my shoe for my 100 mile endurance run, and that's where I used it. I used this shoe, so my first 5.5 mile training run, again, groomed trail, but a lot of tree roots, not a lot of rocks, but tree roots, just the normal mulch type of trail and kind of a little preserve type of area. So they were wet conditions, but they held up well. But on my left foot, I don't know if it's a hot spot or what, but on my left foot, I did get a blister. And I say that because I never get blisters, and I got a blister on my second toe. And the crazy thing is I got this blister wearing the 5-toe Ninja sock, which is crazy. So I feel like maybe the toe box is a little too wide because maybe my feet are doing too much sliding around. But I was like, okay, it's first run, maybe brand new shoe. My second run, which was the Salt Flats 100 endurance run, and I wore this shoe for the first 31 miles. The first 31 was pavement road, because the Salt Flats were flooded. They kind of had to make an alternate route for the first 15 miles, and it was first 4 were on pavement road, and then it kind of turned into an outback type of mountain, road, dirt road. So, and then from miles 21 to 31, it was all incline, rocky trail, but very rocky. And I feel like the shoe did really well. I was able to obviously run on pavement and then bam, transition right into a dirt road, into a rocky trail, and I thought the shoe held up fine. I never, due to all the rocks, I thought the cushioning was great. I didn't feel like my feet were getting beat up. But again, I ran into the aid station at mile 31, and again, second toe on my left foot, huge blister again. A Ninja socks and this shoe. Had to pop it with the scissors, throw duct tape on my toe, and I was good to go. But I did switch into a Hoka Ona shoe for that. And I don't have good reviews on that Hoka Ona shoe. It's the blue one, the one that Walmsley wore during his Western States. My feet have not done well in that shoe. Now Walmsley, world record holder, more power to him. He's a beast. But for me, that Hoka Ona shoe, but this isn't a Hoka Ona review. This is the Nike Wildhorse. So, that all being said, that's kind of the 2 runs that I've ran with this shoe. Lace is good. I love the shoe. I don't love the blisters, but I feel like it's the... I just don't know. I don't know. I love it and I hate it from the blister fact, but it's really ran well. I feel very light in it, and I don't feel like it's a big, clunky, cushiony, ultra running shoe that, I'm wearing it for cushion rather than either comfort or mobility. I mean, it's, it's been a great shoe, and I didn't feel like my feet were getting beat up on the trails. I didn't feel like it wasn't comfortable. I didn't feel like my foot was sliding around the whole time in the shoe, but for some reason on my second toe, maybe it's because of the way my toes are angled, but I figured with a Ninja sock and a wider toe box, I wouldn't have those issues. But overall, I would give this shoe, if it was a 1 out of 10, I would give it 8.5, 9. So maybe I will get the Kiger, the new Kiger, and try that out. But for right now, I'm gonna keep rocking the Wildhorse on my trail runs, because I feel like the lug kind of goes for all all-terrain, and due to the fact that I wore it on pavement, dirt road, and rocks, and I didn't have a problem when slipping and anything like that. Obviously, the conditions there at the salt flats were dry, so I wasn't able to run on like extremely wet conditions to see how that held up. But from a comfort standpoint, I've pretty much said what I needed to say on this shoe. So the cost I think was $110, which I feel like is fine as well. It's not like $170 like some OCR shoes, but hopefully I can get some more miles out of these before I gotta go down. But I do love the fact that Nike has finally come out with a trail shoe that's got a bigger drop, wider toe box, and a decent amount of grip, because that grip goes all the way back and even up onto the cushion a little bit. So that's it for me. If you have any questions or comments, please comment down below. Would love to respond, because as I'm just getting into the YouTube and the reviews. All right, that's it. You know how we do. Blue by you.